All right, so can you really forgive the narcissist? Is it possible? If you're new here, my name is Michelle Pava. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. Can you forgive the narcissist? Some of you might have already moved on from the narcissist and you're just thinking you want to forgive them, or you might have felt like you already forgiven them quite a bit and you just need a little extra finishing to that forgiveness. In all of these cases, you're giving the energy to the narcissist. Let me explain, okay? So when you're giving energy to someone, it just means that you're focused on them. So if you're focused on being a victim of a narcissist, that means you're putting the energy not only into setting yourself up as a martyr, which will continue the path of a narcissist coming towards you, but it's also putting you in a place where you feel like you don't have power. Please subscribe and ring the bell so that we can stay connected. And I don't want you to do this because at the end of this, you feel like I should like the narcissist if I've forgiven them. So forgiveness doesn't feel like you totally accept the other person and everything's roses. It doesn't feel like that at all. It also does not mean that you need to be with the narcissist. So you can forgive someone, but you don't have to be with them. Of course, you want to extract yourself from any relationship that is abusive or neglectful, or that just simply isn't serving your purpose. That's not selfish, it's self-preservation. I don't want you to have an illusion where the narcissist is going to suddenly be a better person because you're being more forgiving, because a lot of times what I see from some of the women that have been in the therapy room with me is that they feel that forgiving is part of supporting the person. Now, I know that I just said women, and I do know that men and women look at this channel, but most of my community is female. And I know that as females and through working with women for 30 years, that we see things a little bit differently sometimes. And I know a lot of women really get that focus of nurturing, and they keep wanting to take care of the narcissist because they see that the narcissist is a very fractured person. And what happens is, as a female, you might see the fractures and the hurt and everything that made them who they are today. And in spite of the fact that they're hurting you, abusing you, neglecting you, you still want to stand up tall every time they knock you down and say, oh, don't worry about it, I can help you. If I just show you how much love is wonderful, if I can show you that you will be forgiven and loved, you will then change your mind and you will change your behaviors. And I know that a lot of women do this, and men do it too, but they do it a little differently. But women really turn on that nurturing when they're being abused because they think that they should endure pain at all costs, at the cost of love. So on many levels, they assume that love equates to pain, that there's a certain level of pain that does come with love. And this is because usually there's been some level of pain in their childhood that they haven't really gotten over, and that's why they might be with a narcissist. And I'm not blaming you if you are with a narcissist right now. I'm not blaming you if you had a really tortured childhood and you're suffering right now. I want you to see that you are much more empowered than you think you are, though, because I've seen my clients, when they've had abuse as a child and when they've been in abusive relationships, they feel like that's the way life is. So if they had a really tough relationship with their mother, if they had a very turbulent relationship with their father, whatever the dynamic is, that is how they were molded to think love was. So if there was a lot of distrust and a lot of abuse at them as a child, then what was happening is as they were growing up, they thought that that's the way love should be. And every single relationship they had, whether it was friendships, romantic relationships, whatever the dynamics were always supporting that message that they were not good enough. You feel like your beauty, your assets, whatever it is that you have, you on a subconscious level, maybe a conscious level, thought early on, this person that I'm with is sure to love me because at least I have this over them. So if I have this over them, they are assuredly going to love me. And I can't tell you the amount of times that I had beautiful, successful, very vibrant women in my office that were with men that couldn't hold a candle to them. But these women were crying and torn up because this man, Joe in the wilderness, was absolutely horrific and treating them horrific. And he had nothing to offer often. And yet they were feeling like so broken down. And this is because on a subconscious level, sometimes women will be attracted to a narcissistic man who is not a powerful man, but instead kind of a mooch, or at best, just a real negative downer. And so in the forgiveness process, these women also need to forgive themselves. And this is what might be happening to you. You might feel like you need to forgive yourself in a way, because if you don't forgive yourself, what is there? And listen, ladies, when a relationship ends, we all know that it's not just, cut and dry. It's not just that everything that we put into that relationship and who we become because of that relationship and everything else, it doesn't all just go away. We still carry the scars and the tears and the unhappiness and the fear and the frustrations and the overwhelm and the sadness and everything that goes with it. We carry all of that with us into our day-to-day still. And even as we're getting over that relationship, even as we're healing the heartbreak, it doesn't mean that we're still not carrying the battle scars of that narcissistic relationship. So a first step in forgiving, regardless of where you are in the spectrum of whether you've already left the narcissist or you're still with the narcissist, and even if you're with the narcissist and you don't see an end to it, and maybe you're not leaving for whatever reason, wherever you are in the spectrum, you need to first heal the illusion that you are a victim. Because if you feel that you are a victim, you're going to attract more narcissists in your life. And they might be narcissistic friends, they might be narcissistic coworkers, whatever it is. If you start to identify with, label yourself as, and project as a victim, you're going to really dig the grave of empowerment. And you don't want to do that. And ladies, I've said this a million times. The narcissist was attracted to you because you have an energy, because you have power, because you have something that they needed. You have a vitality. So even if you're projecting that you're a victim, underneath it, there's still a lot of vitality. And that is ultimately what the narcissist wants. They want the energy that you have, the vitality, the attention, the focus, whatever you want to call it, that's what they want. So once you can say to yourself, once you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I am more beautiful than the narcissist thinks. I'm more successful than they elude. I am not fat and disgusting. I'm not too skinny. I'm not this, I'm not that. Once you can take away all of their insults and realize that everything that they say and everything that they do is really about making you feel less than, and usually what they'll do is they'll attack the very things that they're insecure about. So if they start talking about your body and, for instance, telling you that you're fat, really what's happening is they're noticing how attractive you are, and they want you to feel bad about your body. They want you to be not confident about who you are. So they often will attack the very areas that are your gifts. And you have many, many gifts. And trust me, the longer you stay with a narcissist, they will hit every single gift that you have. But they're just starting out at square one or square two or square three, whatever it is. Depends on how long you've been with them, and it tends to depend on where they are on the spectrum of narcissism as well. And the idea that you are a victim is absolutely an illusion. It couldn't possibly exist if you have gifts, if you have empowerment. The second thing that you need to do is think about space. You don't want to be near the narcissist. So even if you're living in the same home, try to live a very separate life. Try to have emotional walls up. If you already have left the narcissist, I want you to try to have more of a space and more boundary. Don't look at their social networking. Don't let them look at yours. Keep everything in your life under lock and key as much as you can to give that space. The other area is time. I want you to put as much time between you and the narcissist. So say you were with a narcissist and you broke up 6 weeks ago. Don't start to think that because you're in a weak moment, or if you think you're in an empowered moment, that, well, it's been 6 weeks, I could just reach out and see how they're doing, or I could check out their social networking. Don't do that. Keep a level of time between you and the narcissist. And my feeling is the more time, the better. So I would really like there to be an eternity between you and the narcissist. You want there to be a new behavior that you start to develop. I want you to get your old self back. And like I said, many times women look in the mirror and do not see who they truly are because they've been hearing so much about what the narcissist, the abuser, the neglector has said or done to them. And so what they're seeing is not really a true representation of their reflection, but really what others have made them feel they are. So this is why you can look in the mirror one day and feel like, okay, I don't look so bad today, and another day you're not feeling so great. And it's not about like your face suddenly changed or your hair is wildly different. It's really just about how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. Attitude is everything. But your attitude can't be positive if you're always being brought down, right? So I don't want you to focus on forgiving the narcissist so that you see them in a better light. And if you constantly focus on how you're going to see the narcissist, or worse, how the narcissist will see you, you're really just in a place of resisting. You're resisting being empowered. You're resisting being your own person, being independent of the narcissist energy. And so whatever you resist will persist. So you need to heal the illusion that you are a victim. You need to increase the space between you and the narcissist. And you need to expand the time between you and the narcissist. Now, this doesn't really sound like you're forgiving, right? Because it's really about things that you do to keep the narcissist away from you. But these are the first steps in forgiving, because in creating this space, in losing the illusion that you are a victim, you are then regaining you back. You're regaining that person who used to be vibrant and healthy and empowered. And I know I keep saying empowered, but this is really the best word for what I want you to feel. Because when you're empowered, nothing can shake you. When you're empowered, bad things can happen to you, but you have a higher level of resilience and you can walk away from negativity much easier. So that first step of forgiving is actually more just the focus of you being your own person and regaining yourself back again. Even if that means the you before the child abuse, or before the abuse when you were a teenager, or the abuse that you might be enduring right now. Now, there's a lot of people that don't even know that they're in abuse because they're so used to being abused. So if you're looking at this right now and you're feeling like this is your day-to-day life, like you get this, then you probably need to extract yourself right away from the relationship that you're in. You need to call 911, you need to go to a clinic, you need to get help in some way. You need to find a safe space that you can be and cut ties with the narcissist. If the narcissist is an annoying, hateful person who lies and cheats, and your life is not in danger, then of course you can take your time with extracting yourself, but you still need to do that. So when you get to that space, what's going to happen is you're probably not going to really need to forgive the narcissist, because you're not going to have much thought either way about them. You're going to feel very indifferent. But once you feel indifferent, or once you can see the silver linings that you've learned and how you've become a stronger person, you probably really won't need to forgive. So the beauty of working on forgiveness in this way is that you really don't have to work on forgiveness. It's not really your problem to have to forgive them. It's more your opportunity to extract yourself and to find out more about yourself and who you are and who you've become in a really positive way. Please subscribe and ring the bell so that we can stay connected. Okay, I have another video for you.